talk to you today about something really serious, and that is forever chemicals. So it's something I've been researching for quite some time. I sort of started looking into this when one of my clients asked me, or one of my coaching clients asked me, "Hey, what is up um, with Syresto collar class action suit?" And I didn't know, because that's one of the things I would recommend for dogs and cats for flea control. So I look into it, and it turns out that there are a number of pets that have died after wearing the collar and gotten sick in other ways, which is sadly the truth for many other pest control products for fleas and ticks. But in the case of Syresto collars, if you're not familiar with those, that's this little happy deal. The Environmental Working Group actually filed a class action suit against the manufacturer to get this thing pulled off the shelf. Well, it turns out that's not the whole problem. The whole problem is that you have consumed more PFASs because they are used by many communities to support mosquito control problems. And then the other big thing is most U.S. pet food contaminated with forever chemicals, the study says. This is the problem, is it's in the bloody packaging. So these are mostly bags of pet food that have been lined with a plastic to help prevent them from leaking grease to the outside. And so no kidding, Meow Mix Tender Centers for cats, Purina, Blue Buffalo, IAMS had much lower levels, but still some present. So the highest for the Meow Mix was 600 parts per million. For dogs, kibbles and bits registered just under 600 uh, parts per million. And then Blue Buffalo's Life Protection Formula, haha, has 150 parts per million. So there's a ton of other pet foods in there. They did not test the food in specific for contamination, but in past research in the human side, it was found that chemicals leached from fast food wrappers onto human food, and likely the PFASs are actually contaminating the pet food that's inside. So none of the manufacturers have committed to making the food healthier. The other problem is again, this stuff is everywhere. There is a technique that has been developed to break these things down, but the problem is it is everywhere in our environment because it has been sprayed. In the state of Massachusetts, they actually realized that the water table was incredibly contaminated with PFASs because of their mosquito control program. So why am I telling you this? Environmental contamination is an enormous problem. It is not just glyphosate. Unfortunately, we have put so many chemicals into the world, and they are in our water cycle globally. So yes, we're eating plastics from fish. We're getting plastic in our drinking water. And then all of the sea salt is contaminated with plastic, but that's just the beginning. It's PFASs, it's glyphosate, it's arsenic, it's DDT. I mean, it's just an inordinate problem. So how do you protect yourself and how do you protect your pet? Well, number one, stop using plastic packaging. Don't buy stuff that's in a plastic bag or has a plastic lining, because you're going to be eating whatever the chemicals are that are in that lining. Number two, eat a whole food diet and feed that to your pets as well. So use the original Crock Pet diet to include tons of fresh vegetables like broccoli, kale, green beans in the pet's diet, which will help its body get rid of this garbage and get it out of its system. And number three, exercise, drink clean water. So exercise, that's there's an inordinate amount of information on the human side that tells us if you exercise, you will help your body detoxify. And then number four, I should say, is drink clean water. If you're not using a water filter, like a Berkey filter that can take out pretty much every chemical out there, including PFASs, BHT, all this other scary initials, then you need to get one. A Brita filter is helpful, but it doesn't do the complete job. I would urge you not to do a reverse osmosis filter because you're just dumping all of that junk back into the water system at a more highly concentrated rate. At least with a filter like the Berkey filter, you can reuse the carbon part over and over and over again. And then the arsenic filters, which help get the heavy metals and other stuff out, you can replace every 6 to 12 months. So it's much less impact on the water environment. We can actually take some of this stuff out of circulation. So if you want more information about how to cook for your pet, how to use the original Crock Pet diet, click that link below and check it out. I think you will be pleased, and you will also be astonished at how much better a pet food you can make for your pet in less than 30 minutes. I'm Dr. Ruth Roberts, America's most loved pet health coach. Take good care.